This marriage, he continued, is important, not just for us but for business. You will be signing certain documents as my wife. Legal things. Standard procedure. What kind of documents? Ask carefully. Business registrations. Property transfers. Nothing you need to worry about. But I was worrying. And if I do not want to sign? His smile faded slightly. Addanna, we are beyond that now. You already agreed. The wedding is in 2 weeks. Invitations are sent. Canceling now would be complicated. The word complicated sounded like a threat. I nodded slowly. I understand. He kissed my forehead. Good. I knew you would. After he left, I sat alone in the dark. I had entered this game thinking I was the player. But I was never the player. I was the pawn. And the game was already over. The betrayal came from someone I trusted. Oma, my cousin. The one who lent me the blue dress. The one who believed in me when no one else did. She went to Chief Okonkwo and told him everything. That I grew up in Bogota. That my father was a bus conductor. That I never studied in London. That every word I told him was a lie. I found out when Chief called me to his house. His voice cold. Sit, he said. I sat, my hands trembling. Your cousin came to see me yesterday, he began. My heart stopped. She told me some very interesting things about your background. I opened my mouth, but no words came. She said your father was not a businessman. She said you never went to London. She said everything you told me was a lie. Tears filled my eyes. Chief, please let me explain. He held up his hand. I do not need explanations, Addanna. I already knew. Froze. What? I knew from the beginning, he said calmly. I had you investigated the first week we met. I know where you are from. I know who your family is. I know everything. My world tilted. Then why? I whispered. Why did you let me continue? He leaned back, watching me like I was an insect under glass. Because, he said slowly, a girl who is desperate and willing to lie is exactly the kind of girl I needed. The room spun. You were never choosing me, Addanna, he continued. I was choosing you. And now, you will finish what we started. I stood up, legs shaking. I am not marrying you. He smiled. Yes, you are. Everything collapsed at once. Blessing, the girl from my neighborhood, posted on social media. She shared old photos of me in Bogota, standing outside our single room, wearing clothes I had tried to forget. The post went viral. This is the same Addanna claiming she grew up in Ikoyi and studied abroad. She's a liar. Do not believe her. Comments flooded in. People I had smiled at, people I had impressed, people who called me sophisticated now called me a fraud. My phone exploded with messages. Kemi. Addanna, what is going on? Mom Ngozi. I tried to warn you, my dear. Felix. You should have worked with me when you had the chance. I sat in my room, staring at my phone, watching my entire life crumble in real time. Then Chief Okonkwo called. Come to my house. Now. I went because I did not know what else to do. When I arrived, he was calm. Come. You embarrassed me, he said quietly. I did not post that, I said quickly. It was not me. I know, he replied. It was your cousin's friend. But it does not matter. The damage is done. He walked to his desk and pulled out a folder. These are the documents I mentioned before. You will sign them. Tonight. No, I said. He looked at me, eyes hard. You do not have a choice, Addanna. You already took money from me. Rent for your family. School fees for your brothers. You owe me. I will pay you back, I stammered. He laughed. With what? You have nothing. You are nothing. The only reason you are still standing here is because I allow it. Tears ran down my face. Sign the papers, he repeated. Or I will make sure everyone knows you were involved in fraud. I will make sure you go to prison. And your family. They will lose everything. I looked at the documents. My name was already typed in. Picked up the pen. And I signed. I thought I was playing both sides. But both sides were playing me. Felix called me the next day. I heard about the social media post, he said. Unfortunate. Did you do it? I asked, my voice flat. He paused. Does it matter? Did. But I was too tired to fight. Chief Okonkwo made you sign, did he not? Felix continued. Yes. Good. That is what I needed. My stomach turned. What? You were always the bridge, Addanna. I needed Chief to trust you enough to put your name on his shady businesses. Now that he has, I can use those documents to destroy him. And you? You said you would protect me, I whispered. I said I would protect you if you worked with me, Felix corrected. You chose to play both sides. So now you are caught in the middle. He hung up. I sat on the floor of my room and finally understood. I was never a player. I was a passage tool, a name on a page. Chief Okonkwo used me to look respectable. Felix used me to trap Chief Okonkwo. And I used myself trying to escape poverty. Now I had nothing. Chief Okonkwo gave me one final choice. Marry me, he said. Publicly. Quietly. I do not care. But if you walk away now, I will release every document with your signature. You will be arrested. Your family will suffer. I looked at him. And if I marry you, you will be my wife. Protected. Provided for. Silent. Silent, I repeated. Yes, you will attend events. Play your role. And you will never speak about what you know. It was not a marriage. It was a cage. But the alternative was prison. I thought about my mother. My brothers. Mr. Babatunde, who stopped coming because I paid the debt with blood money. I thought about the girl I used to be. The one who dreamed of something better. That girl was gone. I will marry you, I said quietly. Chief Okonkwo smiled. Good. The wedding is in 3 days. He nodded. Survival was all I had left. And survival came with a price I had not calculated. The wedding was beautiful. White flowers. Expensive cameras. Live band. Guests in their finest clothes. I wore a dress that cost more than my family's rent for a year. Smiled. Danced. I said my vows. And I felt nothing. Chief Okonkwo kissed me in front of 200 people. And the room erupted in applause. But when we went home that night, he did not touch me. He went to his study. I went to a separate bedroom. A servant showed me to my room and said, Madam, this is your space. The chief will call if he needs you. That is when I understood. I was not a wife. I was a title. A decoration. The next morning, I tried to leave the compound to visit my mother. The gate guard stopped me. Madam, the chief said you need permission before you leave. Permission? I repeated. I am his wife. Yes, madam. But those are his orders. I went back inside, my chest tight. I called Chief Okonkwo. I want to see my family. Not today, he said. Maybe next week. I am not a prisoner, I said. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, Addanna, you signed papers.
She
You took
has
vows.
nowhere to go.
You are exactly what I need you to be. Do not make this harder than it has to be. He hung up. I sat in my beautiful room, surrounded by luxury I could not enjoy, and finally understood. I had no power, no freedom, no choice. I was Mrs. Okonkwo now. And Mrs. Okonkwo belonged to Chief. Money was everywhere. Jewelry I did not ask for. Clothes I did not choose. Car I was not allowed to drive alone. But I could not visit my family without permission. I could not make a phone call without someone listening. I could not leave the house without a driver reporting where I went. Wealth without freedom is just a decorated prison. One evening I tried to access my bank account. It was frozen. Called the bank. They said, Your husband has control over all joint accounts, madam. I did not remember signing for a joint account. But I must have. Somewhere in those documents. I went to Chief Okonkwo. I need my own money. He looked up from his newspaper. You have everything you need. I want my own account. Why? He asked calmly. Are you planning to leave? The question was a trap. No, I said quickly. I just want independence. He smiled. Independence is what got you into trouble before, Addanna. Trust me. This is better. I left the room, my hands shaking. Later that night, I overheard him on the phone. No, she is not a problem. She is controllable. She has nowhere to go. I pressed my ear to the door. If she tries anything, her family will pay the price. She knows that. He was right. I did know that. Poverty was never my real enemy. Control was. And I had traded one for the other. I finally understood the rule I had broken. You cannot climb using people and expect them to forget. You cannot lie your way into a circle and expect loyalty. You cannot take without giving, use without consequence. I thought I was smart. I thought I was strategic. But I was only desperate. And desperation makes you blind. One afternoon my mother called. She was crying. Addanna, men came to our house. They said we owe money for the new shop I opened. But I never opened a shop. My heart sank. What men? They said Chief Okonkwo sent them. They said you signed for a loan in my name. Closed my eyes. Mama, I did not sign anything. But I had. Somewhere in those documents, my mother's name must have been there too. They are threatening us, Addanna. They said if we do not pay, they will take the house. I will fix it, Mama, I whispered. But I did not know how. I went to Chief Okonkwo. My family is being harassed. I know, he said calmly. You did this. I asked, my voice shaking. I protected myself, he corrected. If you ever think about leaving, remember that your family's safety depends on you staying. I stared at him, hatred burning in my chest. But I said nothing. 'Cause he was right. I had no power. And my family would pay for my mistakes. The favors I accepted came back as chains. The phone Chief gave me. It was monitored. The driver who took me everywhere. He reported my movements. The friends I made in his circle. They were his eyes. I was surrounded by people, but I was completely alone. One day, Chief called me into his study. I need you to do something for me, he said. What? I asked, my voice flat. There is a meeting tomorrow. Important people. Government officials. I need you to sit with the wives, smile, and if anyone asks you questions, you will say nothing. I always say nothing, I replied bitterly. He looked at me sharply. And that is why you are still here. The next day, I sat in a room full of women wearing expensive lace and gold. They talked about trips to Dubai, their children's schools abroad, their husbands' latest business deals. Smiled. He nodded. I said nothing. But I listened. And I realized something. Every woman in that room was just like me. Trapped. Controlled. Decorated. We were all Mrs. Somebody. And none of us were free. One of the women leaned close and whispered, You are new to this life. He nodded. Then let me tell you something, she continued quietly. The door you walk through does not open from the inside. She smiled sadly and turned away. That night, I stared at my reflection in the mirror. I had everything I thought I wanted. But I had lost everything that mattered. I secured wealth. But I lost myself. I wore designer clothes, but I could not choose my own words. I lived in a mansion, but I was a prisoner. I had a title, but I had no name. People called me Mrs. Okonkwo. But I did not know who Addanna was anymore. One evening, I sat alone in my room and made a list of what I had lost. My freedom. My family's peace. My dignity. My truth. And what had I gained? Money I could not spend freely. Status I could not enjoy. A marriage that was a contract, not a bond. I thought about the girl I used to be. The one who walked through Bogota Market with her head down, ashamed but free. I would give anything to be her again. But that door was closed. Chief Okonkwo knocked on my door. We have an event tonight. Wear the gold dress. He nodded. He left. I put on the gold dress. Painted my face. I smiled in the mirror. And I wondered, is this success, or is this punishment? I did not have an answer. There is no rescue in this story. No hero. No escape. I am still Mrs. Okonkwo. I still attend events, smile for cameras, and sit silently at dinners. My family is safe, but only because I obey. Chief Okonkwo got what he wanted. A respectable wife. A useful name. A woman who will never speak. And I got what I thought I wanted. Wealth. Status. Escape from poverty. But the cost outlived the reward. Some nights, I stand by the window and look at the city lights. I think about the girl who wanted so much, who believed marriage would fix everything. I wonder if she knew that some doors, once opened, can never be closed. I wonder if she knew that wealth without freedom is just a prettier cage. I wonder if she would still walk through that door, knowing what waited on the other side. I do not have an answer. All I know is this. I traded one prison for another. And the only difference is that this one has gold bars. The lesson is simple. When you climb using lies, you build on sand. When you trust appearances, you ignore the foundation. When you chase wealth without wisdom, you pay a price that money cannot fix. Some people will say I deserved this. Some will say I should have known better. Maybe they are right. But before you judge me, ask yourself, if you were hungry, desperate, and saw a door opening, would you walk through it? Or would you stay outside wondering what if? I walk through. And now I live with what I found. The end. Thank you for listening to this story. If it made you think, made you feel, or made you question, please share it. Let me know where you are watching from. I want to know which part of the world heard Addanna's story. Subscribe for more stories that reflect the choices we make and the prices we pay. Until next time.